Welcome to Mitch Ping's Mind. I'm here with the amazing Dr. Amanda Foley. Welcome to the show, Amanda.
Thank you, Mitch. Thanks for having me on.
Yeah, you're welcome. Now, we met at a Mojo Master event, the advanced, not the advanced. Are you doing the advanced?
I am.
Oh, well, I'll see you next week anyway, so we can do another one.
Awesome.
We'll see, you guys let us know if you want to hear it again, because we'll do it again, because we're going to hang out at the next Mojo Master course.
Yeah.
Anyway, so we both you did Thrive Time Mojo Master course, 2 years ago?
And that was August last year.
Okay, so last year, cool.
Yeah.
And then I have just done my Thrive Time a month ago now. And then we've both come back to do the foundations of the coaching and leadership, and I think I loved it. Did you love it? What did you sort of take away from the course?
Lots of takeaways from the course. But really, I guess the foundational stuff is getting really clear on what your own values, purpose and mission are.
Yeah.
Helping other people to get clear on what their values, purpose and mission are. And probably the biggest one is balancing our emotions so that we can, once we balance our emotions, we can change our behaviours and actions and then our habits.
Oh, definitely.
Yeah.
So Thrive Time, for anyone that doesn't know, watch my YouTube series, 4 videos. Awesome. It's really hard to explain. It's kind of like personal development, life transformation kind of mindset, 4 days. It's crazy. And I think for me, even though I just did Thrive Time a month ago and then did the coaching course 2 weeks later, it was still such a good reminder
absolutely.
of okay, you need to keep working on yourself. You're only as good as how well you can control your emotions.
Yeah.
And it's so true with anything. And without going off track too much, that's why I love I've signed up for all of the Mojo Master courses, because it's all a mindset. If you want to improve your diet, you want to get fitter, you want to sleep better, you want to stress less, it's all in your mind.
Absolutely.
And once you get the mind right, then you add the supplements and you add all the Dr. Amanda Foley stuff. And that's what we'll get into today. So we were going to go over some practical advice, some simple things you can do straight away. Even today, you can finish this podcast and go straight to, get some supplements or, remove some toxins straight away. And that's what we're getting into. So the first question: how did you kind of get into all this stuff? Where did your fitness journey start? Okay,
sure. So I realised through doing Thrive Time that I've held a value of health and fitness my whole life. From a young teenager, I started running. My dad was into running, so I started running with my dad and have got a love of running from that and maintained that over the years. Then in high school, loved science and biology and had a real passion for learning about the body and how it worked, and decided then that I was going to work in the realm of exercise physiology or physiotherapy or something like that. So when I finished high school, I went on to study exercise and sports science, which is now the human movement degree.
Yeah.
And then I went on to do postgrad research, so did my honours and PhD in the area as well. So I've always had a real love and passion for health and fitness, but it wasn't until I was in my early 30s that I was actually so I was very mainstream trained, work in mainstream health. Work in exercise rehab, so not in the high-end fitness stuff that you guys do. I work in the
I wouldn't call my stuff high-end, but yeah.
Well, the healthy people generally that just want to get fit. You bring out, you push people, whereas I work with chronic disease, pre and post traumatic accidents, surgeries, amputations, stroke, heart disease, all sorts. Oh my God. So working very much in the sickness side of things, and it wasn't until I went along to hear a naturopath speak when I was in my early 30s, and heard her speak, and when I went along to the talk, I was very skeptical because I was like, well, I'm the expert in health, I know everything, blah blah blah. Really realized how little I knew. Even after studying 8 years in the health sciences, I had my own health issues. So I always had gut and digestive issues, food intolerances, brain fog, no energy, bad skin, sick all the time. So I had chronic sinus and throat infections. I was always going to the doctor and they would just prescribe me another course of antibiotics.
Oh my God.
So, but if you ask me, I would say I was really fit and healthy at the time.
Right.
But I had all of these little issues.
Did you really think that you were fit and healthy?
I would have said I was fit and healthy because everybody had these issues.
Right.
And if I went to the doctor, it was never taken seriously. It was just we'll just take this pill, use this cream, take this, do that.
Yeah.
It was only ever addressing the symptoms.
Yeah.
So, but then once I heard this naturopath speak and I started applying the super simple principles that she was teaching, I was able to completely turn my health around. I was pregnant with my twins in the first trimester of being pregnant with my twins, and I was able to carry them to full term, normal delivery. They never left my side. Breastfed them for 16 months, and just had such a great start with them. Have applied all the principles to them as well, and they're super healthy 8-year-olds now. So,
wow, I didn't know you had twins. That's so cool.
Yeah, little boy and girl.
Wow.
Yeah, that's the toys that are lying around. That's there.
Wow.
So that's really where I've come from, and I just figure, well, this was such crucial information for me to turn my health around and really experience next level health and energy, that other people must need to know this too. And, people would say, so what are you doing? What's the change? And so I would share that with them, and as a result have just done that, been on a mission sharing this information with other people. Yeah.
Wow, that's crazy. So why do you think it took so long to... Were you living in like a little box of, this is my university, this is my textbook, this is like...
100%.
And then what made you go to see the naturopath?
Because learning is one of my highest values. So, and I was invited along. And
who invited you?
One of my mentors actually invited me along.
Oh, perfect.
And and I'm all, while I was looking back, I could see how skeptical and closed I was.
Yeah.
I still had that love of learning, and I guess I have always been open to learning, and this stuff, these principles were just so common sense. Yeah. And I was having light bulb moments in this talk, just connecting the dots, going, so that's why I've got this, this, and this. And so. Okay.
So who have been, when you do a PhD or whatever, do you like back and forth with like one specific person, or who do you bounce off of, and who do you get most of your knowledge from?
You have a primary supervisor, which is a university lecturer, who has a big focus on research, and so you have a primary supervisor. You also have co-supervisors as well, and then you basically run the research. Okay. And who have been your biggest mentors or teachers or... I would say I've got mentors, I guess, for different areas. Yeah. So, in terms of health, I would say the most learnings I've got are from local Adelaide women. Louise McCartney she does a lot of talks on gut health. Eris Watkins was the original naturopath I went to go and listen to. They're both very well respected women in their fields. So that's where I've learnt a lot of my health stuff from. In terms of business and entrepreneurship, I'd say Justin Prince is a big one. I love his mindset stuff around entrepreneurship. Then there's Mojo Master for mindset. Ryan Halliday. I listen to Audible, so I've always got something playing on my phone. And who have I got on here?
Who have you spent... Well, how do you learn...
Lots of stuff.
The best, do you think?
How do I learn? I love listening to podcasts and Audible books. That's probably... But then even going along and sitting for 10 hours at a day at an event where we were at, if that's just I'm in heaven when I'm sitting there just listening. I'll take learning anyway. But I love to multitask. So listening while I'm walking or running is great for me.
Who did you spend the most time with? Who was like the biggest like the person you were with and you're like, oh my God, like it's that simple?
In terms of health?
Because was it the first naturopath?
That would be Eris and Louise. So they're probably...
And that was Erison that did that? talk?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So they've probably been my biggest advisors and mentors for getting my own health where it needed to be.
Yep.
And then really teaching me the foundational stuff and how to apply it for anyone with any health issue.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wow. Cool. So when did you realize, like, wow, I'm so unhealthy?
When I went to that door.
What was the first thing that you kind of was like, wow, my gut, everything started clicking in place? Mm-hmm. What was the first thing that you changed? That you were like, wow, that's like, I haven't had a healthy poop in like a year.
No, it wasn't really that for me. It was more, I guess, feeling nauseous and having a bloated tummy.
Yep. And you're like, that's normal.
I thought, like, we would eat, my friends and I would eat, and then we would sit and go, ugh. And, like, we'd just be, but we thought that was just normal.
Yeah, you just like, this is normal.
Yeah, right. And then my skin was a big one. Like, no one likes to have bad skin.
Yep.
So that, I really hated that. But I guess the biggest thing as well for me, being pregnant, you become hyper aware of what you put on and in your body.
Yep.
And after listening to that naturopath, I went off and did my own research, and I was horrified to find out that what we put on our skin absorbs straight through into our bloodstream, number one.
Might as well be eating it.
But number two, it crosses the placenta.
Oh, does it really?
It crosses the placenta. So there was a study done by the Environmental Working Group, probably 10, 15 years ago now, where they tested the umbilical cord blood of brand newborn babies. Mm-hmm. And they found over 200 industrial chemicals and pollutants in the umbilical cord blood of brand newborn babies.
Wow.
So I believe that part of the problem why children are so sick today is they're being born with a toxic load.
Wow.
And it's what we are, is what we breathe, what we eat, what we put on our skin. Every single day that goes through the skin into the bloodstream, it crosses the placenta, and it's cumulative. So because we do it every single day.
Yeah.
So it builds up and builds up. So for me, that probably was the biggest thing that's so easy to change. Yeah, reducing toxic load is easy to change. Yep. And when you've got two babies inside you that you're responsible for, that was like huge.
Yeah.
That was huge for me. And then really learning, I guess, how important it is to supplement. So I was in the camp of, we get everything we need from our food. You don't need to supplement.
I eat healthy.
Are you healthy?
I don't need supplements.
No, and that was probably, again, one of the biggest learning curves.
Yeah.
Because
I'm still a bit hesitant to believe that, but
my job today is to convince you otherwise, Mitch. So, and I looked at all this, being a researcher and, being quite analytical and skeptical. I went off and did all my own research.
Yep.
And there's independent studies done by the CSIRO. They put out research 30 years ago, back in the 80s, saying that our soils in Australia are so minerally deficient that if we do not massively remineralise our soils, and we're not talking about remineralising with 3 minerals, which is what they do, the 3 main minerals they put back in the soil.
What are those minerals?
I think it's phosphorus, potassium, nitrogen. I don't know. I'd have to check.
Okay, yeah.
I'd have to check. But the farmers will put some key ones in so that the tomatoes are red and the leaves are green, kind of thing, right? Okay. But we actually need anywhere between 70 and 90 minerals and trace elements every day. Wow. So if our soils are minerally deficient, when we grow food in them, the minerals are not in the food. Yeah. And in Australia, we don't have rivers that flood. We don't farm along the banks of rivers because that's what remineralises soil. Okay. When you have a volcano or a river flood, those are things that remineralise the soil. We don't have that in Australia. We just farm and refarm. Yeah. And so the soils are minerally deficient. So there is no way that you can get enough minerals eating in a modern society with the way that we eat today. Even if you were to eat like I try and get most of my fruit and veggies fresh, organic from the farm gate. So we've got a brilliant local organic farmer here just 2 minutes down the road from my kids' school. Yeah. And you can go and get farm fresh, organic grown veggies. Even she'll tell you, yes, they're much higher in nutrition than conventionally grown vegetables. And yes, they don't have all the sprays, but her soils still lack minerals. So I guess the main important thing with minerals, I guess, just to take a step back, is that our body can't manufacture minerals. Yeah. So if you think of minerals as like the lowest common denominator. They're like the building blocks. They're like the spark plugs for every single cellular process in the human body. We build new tissue with them. We balance our hormones with them. Brain chemistry. Everything starts with minerals. So if they're not in the soil, they're not in the food, the body's lacking minerals.
Okay.
So there's a famous Nobel Prize winning scientist, Linus Pauling, said many, many years ago, every single disease and illness can be traced back to a mineral deficiency. So when you think about, like, for example, just one example.
Oh my God.
So osteoporosis, right, is not a lack of eating dairy products, okay? Osteoporosis is a lack of minerals. Bones are made up of minerals, not just calcium.
Yeah.
We don't need to get calcium from dairy. You can get calcium from loads of foods.
Oh, what about
yes, you can get it from dairy.
The Woolworths full cream milk or the skim milk?
Well, look, that's just reduced fat.
Yeah.
But look, you can get calcium from a range of foods, but your bones are made
Sardines?
up of... Yeah, lots of things. Green vegetables and almonds and broccoli and, you know. But it's more about the fact that bones are made up of minerals and we need lots of different minerals. You don't want to supplement one mineral because our body is a complex organism.
Yeah.
No mineral works in isolation. Or, you know, vitamins and minerals work with all of their cofactors. So that's why people get in trouble when they just supplement with one thing. Like if they just take magnesium or they just take calcium, it can cause imbalances in other minerals as well.
I love that you say that because that's massive. It's like, oh, I have a vitamin D deficiency. I'm just going to take a ton of vitamin D. It's like, no, now you're just like counterbalancing everything. Like,
it
was low before, but now it's too high, and then everything else is out of balance.
Throws everything else out of whack as well. So yeah, if so when I recommend supplements to people or suggest things that they try, it's always in a formula where they have all of the cofactors in there as well, and they work synergistically, so that, you know, you're not causing more issues down the track. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, that went a little sidetracked.
Didn't it?
But I think that at the start of that, those issues you were bringing up at the start, like I do not know one person that's not like, they don't dedicate their life to fitness, that every now and then they eat something and they don't get bloated.
Sure.
That's like the most common thing, like brain fog and like feeling low energy, like, and these are such simple things that can be added in to help with that.
Absolutely. So yeah, getting rid of the toxins. Getting rid of those, improving your nutrition, you're streets ahead of most people if you just do those two things. Yeah. But then the third one is addressing the gut health more specifically. So yeah, did you want to talk?
We'll get to that.
Yeah, we'll get to that.
Okay, let's do some simple, because the thing with removing toxins is like, okay, no plastic, no deodorant, no toothpaste, no, like all this stuff, right? And it can cost a lot if you literally overhaul everything. But I always tell my clients, hey, just start with the deodorant.
Perfect.
Add essential oils, and then then when your toothpaste runs out, then add that.
Change to a better. That's what I do the same thing.
Yeah, get like a different soap and like slowly add it out. What are the main things that you like, priorities?
Priorities, number one, washing powder. What you wash your clothes in. Yeah. Absolutely, 100%. What you wash your clothes in, because the residue of the fragrance and the chemicals in that washing powder, you wear them on your body, and they rub off onto your skin, and you're absorbing them into your skin 24/7. So even when you think, like when you dry yourself with a towel, when you wrap yourself up in your quilt at night, when you're sleeping on your pillow, like we're constantly covered in clothing, right? So that smell of your fabric softener is actually super toxic. They actually have labelled them endocrine disruptors. So they actually mimic estrogen and other hormones in the body. So you can get a lot of hormonal issues because you're putting these synthetic estrogens into your body constantly. They actually have done research on fat cells and found, fat cells to contain these toxins. Wow. So that's a big one. reduce what you wash your clothes in.
Well, if your gut health and liver and all that isn't in check, then your body's going to store those toxins as fat. Is that right? Yeah.
Absolutely. And that's a very clever thing the body does do. Yeah. It's a good point, is to protect our organs. Yeah. We will store the toxins away from our organs in our fat cells. Now, if you're trying to lose weight, the body does not want to let go of that fat quickly because then it releases toxins into the body. So that can be a real inhibiting factor for people trying to lose weight, is if they're toxic, if they've got a high toxic load. So I'll do a specific detox protocol with people if they feel that that's one of their issues.
Okay.
The second thing I'd say to cut out in terms of toxins is what you brush your teeth with.
Okay.
Because the quickest way we absorb things into our body is through our eyes and through our mouth. So what you brush your teeth with is super important. You don't want to be putting foaming agents like sodium lauryl sulfate and phthalates and fluoride and all of those things straight into your mouth that absorb straight into your bloodstream. I mean, in America, toothpaste have black box warning labels on it saying, if swallowed, seek advice from the Poison Control Centre.
Oh my Lord. I'm just thinking
we have the same toothpaste here in Australia, but we don't have the same warnings on it.
Have you seen Jimmy Neutron?
Yeah.
The kid that eats the toothpaste. Have you seen that?
I can't remember actually, but yeah. Don't eat the toothpaste, kids.
Don't be like the kid in Jimmy Neutron.
No.
Eat the
And look, on a serious note, kids have died from eating toothpaste.
Really?
Kids have got into the bathroom, eaten toothpaste and died because it's that bad for you. So I would recommend using a safe toothpaste because you do not want... You think about how many... We brush our teeth twice a day at least.
Yeah.
So that's every day of our life that we're absorbing these chemicals into. So, look, what you wash your clothes in and what you brush your teeth with, I think are the two will have the biggest impact on reducing your toxic load.
Wow.
Yeah. But there's lots more things that you can do.
Yeah, let's not freak everyone out.
And look, and like you said though, when you run out of something, just look for the better option.
Yeah.
And look, and I educate people on that all the time.
Yeah, it's endless, like and you're never gonna get rid of all the toxins.
No, there's a lot we can't control. We can't control the traffic and the air we breathe, right?
Yeah.
But there is so much we do have control over.
Exactly.
So much. Like, one of the other things I was taught is aerosol. So do you need to use an air freshener? Do you need to use a fly spray?
Yeah.
Those things, they're things that we spend money on that are not necessary, and they just add a huge amount of toxins into the air that we breathe in our own homes.
Yeah, I get triggered so hard when, like, at the PT where I work, in the PT office, all the guys come in and they just shower themselves in deodorant. And I'm like, oh my God.
Instant headache. Yeah. It's horrible. It's horrible. Yeah. And that's the thing, I guess, the more you detox the chemicals out of your life, the more sensitive you do get to them. You're more hyper aware of when people are wearing a lot of perfume or something. Yeah.
So where do you draw the balance between lifestyle and removing toxins? So for me, I haven't found a deodorant that like actually kind of stops my BO. Okay. So I'm just like, I'd rather have a bit of toxins and just have some deodorant that actually works.
Sure.
Is there anything like that for you that you're like, actually, I kind of just like my dishes being clean, I'm going to use like a different dishwash.
Well, I'll just have to hook you up with products that work. Because, there's...
Or like perfume. Do you put on perfume?
No.
Okay.
No, because perfume is probably one of the most toxic things you can put on your body.
But what if a girl
and
just
you spray it on your thyroid. You spray it on your...
don't you?
Yeah, on your breast tissue. Like, you spray it all around here. It's extremely toxic perfume. So, look, find the essential oils that you like.
Okay, but is there anything that you do that you just like, surely there's one thing that you just like,
that I allow? Okay.
Yeah.
In the products that I haven't yet found a clean hairspray.
Here we go.
So I have a toxic hairspray in the bathroom.
Oh my God, you're going to die.
Sometimes I'll use a bit of hairspray if I'm going out, but... You know, I don't paint my nails. I don't... Yeah.
Okay.
There's a lot that I'm happy to forego.
Yeah.
But I do have a toxic hairspray in the bathroom. I admit it.
I'm glad I found... I'm going to throw it out. So, that's right. And that's good. That's what I like to hear because Do you think of like maybe people listening are like, oh my god, Amanda lives in some like wooden tree in the woods and she doesn't have any chemicals or she doesn't own any clothes or like whatever. It's like no, people do, and that's where you draw the lifestyle and the balance thing and the values, right? Live your values. So if you're like a drag queen, oh my god, I did. You need to see. I'll show you after. A client donated to charity to train me and dress me up in drag.
Oh, that's hilarious.
And the lady at the end who was putting all this makeup on, like, yeah, okay, I can handle this makeup on my face, so that's fine.
You loved it.
Yeah, I loved it. But then at the end, she sprayed hairspray on my face.
To set the makeup.
Oh. And I was like,
did your face
the chemicals, oh no. Well, yeah, but what about makeup? Do you have like organic makeup and,
Yeah, there's lots of makeup you can get. That's a lot safer and a lot cleaner because makeup is probably one of the biggest things that women use every single day.
Oh my god, what about eyeliner? Because that's like absorbed in your eye, right?
Oh, well,
and that eyeliner's not right.
Probably, some people put it right on the inner line. Yeah, I don't do that. I don't put it right on the inner line. Just put it on the outer line. But yeah, there are so many these days, clean, vegan, organic, non-toxic makeup lines that you can get. So there's definitely options out there.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. So once you've kind of started clearing out some of your toxins, would you already start seeing benefits for reduced bloating and gut health and stuff?
Probably not in terms of that. What most people find when they reduce toxins, they feel that they get less headaches. That's often a big one. Less headaches, less sinus issues, dizziness. Often you get people with chronic dizziness.
Really?
And it's just that they're constantly breathing in toxins.
Wow.
So things like that, you can just feel better when they're gone. If you're trying to lose weight, going through a detox and getting toxins out of your life can help with that, with weight loss. But yeah, all the toxins we put on our body do affect our gut health as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What else can you do, like the standard person, I can't eat one thing without feeling bloated?
Then you need to address the underlying cause. Okay. So if the gut is functioning...
when it comes to the gut.
Yeah, if the gut's functioning properly, you can pretty much tolerate things.
Like a beer and a schnee, whatever you were eating.
You saw me have a beer. What did I have? A beer and a burger.
A man had a beer and a burger, guys, so don't worry. It's balanced. That's like once a month something.
So what did I eat the previous days? I was taking my lunch.
Yeah, you were taking your lunch. Everyone else was going out eating Mexican.
Yeah. So look, before that, if I was to eat any bread at all, I'd be, big bloated belly.
Yep.
So I do try and choose like a spelt option or a organic sourdough or a gluten-free option. If that's not...
What do you think of the gluten-free bread?
Oh, look, there's a lot of rubbish out there. There's a lot of nasties out there. So, yeah.
Because it has soy and egg in it and a whole bunch of other chemicals.
Lots of stuff. You've got to be really careful with gluten-free options. A lot of gluten-free options are not healthy at all. They're highly processed.
Oh my god.
Junk food. It's junk food. And a lot of people think if it says gluten free it must be healthy. It's such a trap.
Yeah.
But it is absolutely true. There's a lot of gluten-free junk out there.
Does the Woolworths have a good gluten-free bread, do you know? Or Coles?
Yeah, there wouldn't be one that... they all have stuff added in them.
Okay, I'm going to have to stop eating bread.
Well, look...
I'll get from the farmer's market.
I can give you a bread option.
Yeah.
Some people that are super sensitive to gluten or celiac, obviously they can't have any form of gluten. Yeah. What I've found is that my personal reactions are to wheat. So it's the gluten associated with wheat. But if I was to eat another grain, even if it is a gluten grain like rye or spelt, I don't get the same reaction. So if it's an organic sourdough, spelt or rye bread, I don't have any problems digesting that. But I had to heal my gut first. So people will say, I'm allergic to this or I'm allergic to that.
No.
Over the years, you can reverse all your food allergies if you heal the gut. You can actually like I've done it. I've got, so many people that I've worked with that.
Yeah, I used to be like anaphylactic to peanuts.
Yeah, wow.
And now I can eat peanuts all day.
We definitely have examples of children in our community where they've been anaphylactic to multiple things.
Yep.
And now don't have the issue. They can eat nuts. So yeah, it's something that I never would have believed or known about until I've learnt this information and applied it.
Right. Yeah. So what's the first... Someone comes to you and they're like, I just get bloated all the time. I have brain fog. What's going on in your head and what are you thinking is the root cause?
Yeah, I'd get a bit of a health history.
Yeah.
So often it starts at birth. So the way we're born.
So C-section or natural,
yeah. Or whether the mother had IV antibiotics during labour.
Really?
And
can you dig up that information?
Most people, if they're... Often I'll work with mothers that have children with asthma, eczema, allergies, those sorts of things, because that's rampant.
Yeah.
So if you think about it, I was at primary school like 30 years ago.
Yeah.
There was I could think of maybe one kid that had an asthma puffer, right?
Yeah, good memory.
And now we have classroom full of kids with asthma, eczema, allergies, right?
Yeah.
So one of the contributing factors, like I said before, the toxic load of children these days, but also the over-medicalisation of birth is another one. There's definitely a time and a place for C-sections, absolutely. But now we've got more than... There's a great documentary actually called Microbirth, if people want to learn more about how birth impacts our health.
Is that on Netflix?
That one is, I think it's on Netflix or on YouTube.
YouTube, yeah.
Yeah, Microbirth. I get a bit of it. I'll go back as far as we can. But if I'm dealing with a mum with the little children, she knows very well what their birth history, how they were birthed, what interventions she had and that kind of thing. Often it can just be that the mother had really poor gut health when she birthed her baby, so the baby's picked up bad bacteria.
Wow, how does that work with the microbiome?
So when you birth babies, they come down the birth canal. Yeah. They're picking up the mother's flora. Wow. Through the birth canal.
Through the baby's mouth or skin and...
Yep. So when the baby... This was really cool that I didn't know, but when babies are in the womb... Their gut is sterile, so they don't have any bacteria in their gut.
No bacteria.
And they also have leaky gut, so their gut wall is permeable.
Yeah.
So when the mother goes into labour and the cervix opens, the baby's swallowing the amniotic fluid. Yeah. The flora comes up through the birth canal. The baby's going down the birth canal, and it's all getting inoculated with the gut flora of the mother. Wow. All right. And then when the babies are born, they're put to the breast, and the first thing that comes out is colostrum.
What's that?
So that's like a gold liquid that the mother produces before the normal breast milk comes in.
Really?
And that colostrum closes the gut wall down, and then the normal milk comes in, which is like a high sugar milk. That'll come in and feed the bacteria, and that's how the baby's gut is populated. And there's so many studies on this that show that babies that don't have that have a very different microbiome to the babies that are born either by a C-section or don't get breastfed, or there's antibiotics involved. They have a very different gut flora.
Wow.
So we can look right back to birth.
Oh my Lord, I'm going to get on the phone with my mum after this and ask
get some more
what
info.
my birth was.
So yeah, look, you can go back as far as you want. I just get a bit of a health picture, ask them about their symptoms. Are they on any medications? Do they have any other health issues? Just get a bit of a picture. Yep. Do they use antibiotics regularly? And look, and just talk about their diet. What's your lifestyle like? What's your stress like? Your sleep like? Your mindset? Yeah. How much coffee and alcohol do you drink? Do you eat a lot of sugar? All of those things contribute to poor gut health. Yep. Because if you're drinking a lot of alcohol, surviving on coffee, you get sugar cravings and you're eating lots of sugar, all you're doing is you're not eating the good stuff, you have veggies and whatnot. You're not feeding the good bacteria, and you're actually feeding the bad guys, and that's what we call gut dysbiosis. So it's just simply an overgrowth of bad bacteria. Well, the bad bacteria, when you've got too much of the bad guys in your gut, they let off toxins. Okay. They cause bloating. Your gut microbes are responsible for your metabolism. They're responsible for the breakdown of food, how well you extract nutrients out of your food. They're responsible for your cravings.
Yeah. Oh my God.
If you are craving sugar,
me all the time.
So it's not you, dear. It's your microbes. It's your microbes that are craving the sugar, right? So if you actually start with, huge super strength probiotics, not just your 20 billion. I'm talking you need mega doses.
50 million trillion.
Up there. Once you put the big doses in, you start to increase the good guys and kill off the bad guys. Once the bad guys are under control, your sugar cravings are under control. It's the bad bacteria that crave the sugar because that's what they feed off and thrive off of.
Okay.
So sugar and coffee and alcohol and processed food and all of those things just contribute to the negative bacteria in our gut.
Okay. So what if, like, I have a client that I've been working with for 16 weeks and she was really stressed and she was getting bloated and she couldn't sleep, and we've added things in like meditation and like mindset stuff and like reduced her HIIT training and like added in some more protein, blah, blah, blah. But she's still getting bloated quite like pretty much anything she eats. And she eats like you were describing, like no alcohol, no coffee, like all this stuff.
So I would look at whether or not she's got other symptoms, because she may have hyperpermeability of the gut wall. So she may have like what they call leaky gut.
Yeah. Doesn't everyone have leaky gut?
In today's society, a lot of people have leaky gut. But if you have things like, autoimmune diseases, fibromyalgia, chronic fatigue, you definitely have leaky gut pretty much. Like the amount of people that just simply change the way that they eat, and it's not rocket science, you just eat the way we ate 100 years ago.
Yeah.
Fresh food, real food, supplement with some basic nutritionals.
Okay.
You're going to get the outcome that you need. But
so it could just be a good probiotic she needs.
That's it.
Okay.
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I would say that's probably what's missing.
Right.
From what you're saying. And look, and the beautiful thing is that all of this information, it's not diagnostic, it's not, it doesn't cause any harm. You are just putting in things that we know the body needs without causing any harm. It's not going to cause any harm.
Yeah.
Doing it. Whereas if you're going to take a medication to address, say, reflux, there's a whole host of side effects that go with that.
Ooh, okay,
Why not just address the cause by using some simple natural things that can help reduce the reflux, which doesn't cause any harm?
Okay.
So that's why I love this approach, because you're actually addressing the underlying cause, but you're not causing any harm.
You don't think there's any side effects of having probiotics and minerals and things like that, like supplements?
Well, your body needs minerals.
Okay.
So if you're getting a plant-based mineral supplement, you can't, it's like eating food.
Yeah.
If you were to get something that was man-made, manufactured, you'd have to be very careful that it's in the right quantities that you need. And look, a blood test is going to tell you whether or not you've got too much or too little of something.
Okay.
Yeah.
Do you look at bloods?
You can look at bloods, absolutely. Yeah. I'm not
doesn't it take like 2 hours to look over someone's bloods properly?
Look, that's not something I would do. That's something like their own GP would do. I just really help people to see where they can improve either their mindset, their fitness, their nutrition, or where they can fill the gap, really. But if they had like a specific nutrient deficiency, then they would be speaking to their GP, seeing where their bloods lie. I can read bloods, but I wouldn't diagnose or give any kind of medical advice.
Yeah, this podcast is not intending to diagnose, cure, treat, or prevent any disease. Absolutely. Please contact your physician.
Absolutely. So this is really just about getting back to simple, basic principles that we lived 100 to 200 years ago, where we didn't have the incidences of chronic disease and cancer that we have today.
Right. So everyone always, like if you Google gut health, and everyone's just saying you need to have this ancient Chinese herb that's been walked up the mountain with Sherpas over 2 weeks, and then on the second fortnight with a full moon, you take one leaf and you crush it and have it in a tea 2 times. Yeah, it's not complicated. It's like eats like
clean
good food.
Yeah, I really don't push any diet or eating plan.
I love that so much.
Just eat real food.
Yeah.
Like, don't eat out of a packet. Just eat real food.
Yeah.
Because we're animals.
Yeah.
Animals were never meant to eat, food out of a packet.
Yeah.
And that's why dogs get sick now, because we feed them processed
Yes. Food. Oh my God.
Now, our pets are sick now with cancer and all sorts of things because of the processed food we feed them. So if we just fed them raw meat and veg...
Yeah, that'd be good. Yeah. Have you heard of the vegan cats?
No. I think cats are supposed to eat meat, aren't they?
Yes, they are.
Yeah.
Because they're like carnivorous or whatever that word is, right?
Yeah.
So these vegan cat owners will feed because they're like, I'm against killing animals. They'll feed their cat vegan, food, but then the cat gets sick and dies.
Yeah.
So they're like torturing the cat when they love animals, and they're giving the cat vegan food.
Yeah, it does. You've got to eat to your biology.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, a really simple piece of advice that I was taught was if it came from a plant, you're pretty much safe to eat it. Okay. If it was made in a plant, don't eat it. Like
made
in a factory plant. Like in
right.
a plant, it's in a factory.
That completely went over my head.
So it was made in a plant, no, but if it came from a plant.
Oh, I like that.
Yeah. So it's just,
Wow. Okay, yeah, cool. So having said that, it's simple. There's no specific diet. There's no, someone comes to you and they're like, look, I know there's no diet or whatever, but I just want to eat healthy. I'll do anything you say. Please just give me some core foods to work my ratios and
I don't do that.
Don't do any. So what if my diet was red meat? What would you say?
Well, I would use my health coaching skills.
Yeah.
And really, because like you said before, it doesn't matter. I think it was off air when we were talking, but it doesn't matter how good you are at prescribing exercise or giving dietary advice or whatever. If people don't have the mindset right, you're not going to get anywhere. And that was probably what I really realised working in mainstream health and what got me into coaching. Was it didn't matter how good I was at being an exercise physiologist and prescribing exercise. If the behaviour change and the mindset wasn't there, what's the point? They're never going to do it.
Exactly.
So I work on that. And their understanding of what health is and what health might look like for them. But that's not a balanced diet if you were to only eat red meat. So it's just going back.
And you can't say that. You want to ask me the question for me to be like, oh, actually, maybe I can have chicken.
Yeah. Or is that balanced? Or, do you know the importance of vegetables?
Oh, right.
Just trying, that's an extreme case, obviously. But it's trying to get balance and variety in a diet. Like I said, don't prescribe a diet or, a particular way of eating. It's really just eating clean, eating real, fresh, organic where you can to minimise toxic exposure.
Okay.
Yeah.
So let's get into the organic thing, because when I hear you say organic, you're like, okay, yeah, organic's good, but actually it's still not the best. You still need a supplement. And then I'm thinking in the back of my head, well, why do I even waste my time and effort going to the farmer's market and getting organic when it's not even all the nutrients I need?
For me, the reason why I eat organic is because I want to eat foods that aren't sprayed with pesticides, herbicides, fungicides, larvicides. Because what are they? They're killing bugs, right? What's in our gut?
Exactly.
Bugs. Yeah. We've got gut bugs. So, anything that you're putting in your body that's going to negatively affect your gut health. And in fact, there's a huge movement now where people believe it's not actually wheat and gluten that's the problem. It's the fact that wheat was crudely genetically modified back, I think, in the 70s or 80s to be able to tolerate high amounts of glyphosate.
Yeah.
And it's actually the glyphosate, the huge amounts of pesticide that you're consuming, not really the wheat or the gluten. So, I just think where you can minimise exposure to toxins and chemicals, if food is what we put in our mouths, it goes directly into our bloodstream. If that can be clean, or as clean as you can, then why wouldn't you do it?
Yeah.
And look, and if you're going to go organic and try and go organic, there's a little money-saving tip. that I can give. So the Environmental Working Group put out every year the Clean 15 and the Dirty Dozen. Have you heard of that?
Yeah, I have heard of that. Yeah.
So shop using that. Okay, so the Clean 15 are the fruits and veggies that are not heavily sprayed, and even when they're conventionally grown, they don't use a lot of sprays on that food. So those are the ones that are okay to buy not organic, and spend your money on the Dirty Dozen.
Okay.
So, like your strawberries, your kale, your spinach, your celery, your broccoli, those things that are heavily sprayed, buy those organic. And go to a farmer's market, go to the farm gate, get to know your local organic farmer, and that it can be a lot more affordable that way. Yeah.
Okay, cool. So that's just playing devil's advocate. Well, if organic food's not even the best, then why do I... It's like...
Well, it's the best we've got.
It's more... so it's more not reducing your toxic load, and you still are getting more nutrients, not all the nutrients.
There are studies to show that organic food is generally higher in nutrient content, but yes, I would still maintain that you need to top up. And if you... to use a really good quality mineral and vitamin supplement, see how you feel on it.
Yeah.
It speaks for itself when you have everything your body needs. You notice how you feel. Yeah.
Back to the glyphosate. I cannot wrap my head around how there is so much information about how bad it is and how it's causing all these autoimmune disorders and leaky gut and like horrible things, but everyone's just going about a day eating gluten, and I'm like, what is going on? How does no one know this? That's another podcast, I think. There's the conspiracy theory podcast with Mitch. To me, it's like smoking, and same thing with sleep deprivation. Everyone's wearing this badge of honor, I sleep 5 hours a night. It's but what is that doing to your health? There's so much research out there, the glyphosate and the sleep, and it's oh my God, that's my mission in life, to make that mainstream. I think there's a lot of things like that. Yeah. It's not just the farming practices and the use of glyphosate. I think it crosses. There's so many things. It's the use of... Why do they allow these chemicals on our supermarket shelves? I know. When they're known to cause cancer in animals, when they're known to be neurotoxic, so affecting the brain and the nervous system. They're known to be carcinogenic, and they're known to be endocrine disruptive, yet they're still sold on the supermarket shelves. And they're still healthy. Well, why would the government allow the sale of products? Oh my God! That we totally know is a conspiracy. Well, it's endless. That's another podcast, Mitch. There's lots of things, but look, I just take the approach of reduce toxins where you can. Don't be fanatical about it. Just reduce them where you can. Top up your nutrition where you can, and if you've got any gut issues or health issues, start with the gut. So some basic things to heal the gut. And, Hippocrates said 400 BC, all disease begins in the gut. Wow, yeah. So this is not new information, people. We've known this for a long time. Yeah. It's just, we've forgotten it almost. So, just getting back to the basics and trying to live as best we can in this modern world. Reduce what we can. Yeah. Yeah. Do you know who Perry Nicholson is? No. So he does a lot of work with the lymphatic system, and he travels around the world teaching, and he paired up with this guy, this functional medicine doctor. And have you looked a lot into functional medicine? Because it sounds like that's pretty much what you do. You do functional medicine with the health practitioner kind of cap. Because you're dealing with the root cause, or how do you see it? I guess if it fits that box, it's dealing with... how do you see it? I don't see it as anything. I just do what I do, and have had amazing results. Yeah. And then I'll help someone by just sharing what I do, and they get the same benefit. And what I love about it is it doesn't matter what the issue is. So whether or not people have, like I said before, fibromyalgia, eczema or asthma, when you reduce the toxins and the inflammation, so the inflammatory foods,
the body heals.
Yeah.
But you've just got to give it the right environment.
Yeah.
So if that is reducing toxins and improving nutrition, and your body heals, and you've done no damage in reducing improving nutrition and reducing toxins, is that causing anybody any harm?
Well, there's bad that comes with that. It can't all be good.
The bad that comes with it, well, I guess it takes a bit of change and effort and commitment.
There you go. And money and...
Yeah, look, it doesn't have to be expensive though. It really doesn't. I mean, a single mum looking after 2 kids, if it was super expensive, it's not something I would be able to do, and I can do it. Yeah. You know, I guess I've learnt a few hacks over the years and things, but yeah, I mean, it takes more thought and effort.
Exactly.
It takes more thought and effort to make the better option. Yeah. But once you know it, once you understand it, it's not hard. When you understand the implications and the repercussions, I find that it's usually they're happy to put up with the pain themselves, but it's when their children are sick. Oh, wow, yeah. That's what gets the change. So it might be that the family might be overweight, or they've struggled with particular health issues, and they've just, the nail's not sharp enough. But then they have a kid, and the kid's suffering with head to toe eczema, say. Yeah. Then they're like, we want to help our child, and to help the child, they have to make the changes in the house by changing their, some dietary choices, doing some gut healing, and reducing toxins. So the whole family does it, and then the whole family get healthy. So not only does the kid reverse their issues or improve their issues, the whole family gets healthy as well.
That's great.
Yeah.
That's just playing the Mojo Master. Like, it can't all be good. It's good and bad.
And you know what? It comes back to what your value is.
Yeah, exactly.
If you don't value health, then this wouldn't resonate with you, and you wouldn't see the effort in doing it. Yeah, exactly. However, I think our role as coaches is to say, well, what are your values? Yeah. And it might be family, business, and travel. Yeah. And if you're not healthy, can you work your business? No. Can you travel? No. Can you look after your kids? No. So then you can, like you said, we learn in coaching, we can help people link it together so that they do value their health. And it's easier for them to then intrinsically choose better and make the better choice, because they can see the repercussion on the other areas of their life and what they do really value.
I love that. Anyway, back to Perry Nicholson and working with the functional medicine guy. So I went to the course at the start of the year. Sure. And Perry is into vagus nerve stimulation and how it connects with the brain, and how you were saying before, how when I'm craving sugar, it's my gut telling my brain to eat sugar. Have you researched much about the vagus nerve and how it's connected to the brain and all of that? Yeah,
so they now say that the gut is the second brain. Yeah. And there's actually more nerve endings and neurotransmitters than we ever thought were ever there. The fact that serotonin's produced in the gut, that, when you feel emotion, or if you're going to jump off a cliff, you feel it in you. Or if you're about to get on stage and talk or do a podcast, you get butterflies in your belly, right? So you feel it in your tummy. Yeah. Your gut is definitely... linked to the brain, and we know now it's linked through the vagus nerve. So for example, this is just one example of how it's linked. So if you've got overgrowth of bad bacteria and they're giving off a lot of toxins, that can travel through to the brain and cause toxins in the brain via the vagus nerve.
Yeah. So do you think that's where, if you improve gut health, it's gonna, most people think you improve gut health, it's gonna improve your gut bloating. A lot of people wouldn't connect the gut, improve your gut health, improve your brain fog.
100%.
So, yeah.
So when you heal the gut and you get your gut back into better balance through making some better food choices and supplementing with some probiotics, not only does your digestive symptoms improve, but your overall health begins to improve. So what was causing the brain fog resolves. What was causing the hormonal imbalances resolves. What was causing the skin issues resolves. So this is another cool thing, is when the body heals, it doesn't just heal one thing, it'll heal all the things. Wow. So when I healed my gut, not only did my brain fog go away and my energy improve, my skin cleared.
Yeah.
You know, so it all cleared up. And I guess, do you want me to explain why that is? Yeah. So with the gut, as I said before, if you've got damage to the gut wall, you're not absorbing nutrition properly, your digestive tract.
Why do you not absorb nutrition properly?
So if the villi in the gut are damaged, if you've got leaky gut, if you've got dysbiosis, all of those things.
Okay, you're speaking like a different language. Just, I understand you because so
the structures in the gut aren't functioning as well as they could. Then we don't absorb the nutrition as well. And we should have a very tight junctions in the gut wall. So as we, get gut dysbiosis and, do things.
So what's gut dysbiosis?
The overgrowth of bad bacteria.
So overgrowth,
So you get overgrowth of bad bacteria that can damage the villi, open up the junctions in the gut wall.
Okay.
And instead of you taking food in and it going down the digestive tract, absorb the nutrition out of it, and what the waste products go down the toilet, if you've got hyperpermeability or increased space, holes in the gut, a lot of toxins, undigested food particles, pathogens and things can leak through the gut wall into the bloodstream. When it's in the blood, your body has to deal with it. So your liver has to then filter the blood. Your liver also has other functions. For example, metabolizing hormones. So if you have had leaky gut for a long time, your blood gets very dirty, the liver becomes very congested, and we get hormonal issues.
Wow.
When we heal the gut and cleanse the liver, the hormonal issues tend to resolve. Same with things like acne, eczema, psoriasis. The skin is the biggest organ of detox. So if you've got a lot of inflammatory issues and dirty rubbish in the blood, the body will often try and push it out through the skin, and that's why we get skin issues.
Wow.
If we have autoimmune disease, so things like say for example arthritis or thyroid issues are huge. So that's where the body starts attacking its own tissues. So autoimmune disease is that. Really, that's just this. What happens is when you get all of this, I guess, things that shouldn't be in the blood being in there, the body thinks can often look at them as foreign invaders and will want to attack them and mount an immune response to deal with it. And if the immune response is constantly being stimulated, you can get an over-hyped up response of the immune system, and the body will start attacking tissues. And you can get things like fibromyalgia and arthritis and thyroid issues and, that umbrella of autoimmune disease. And I've got a good friend of mine who struggled with chronic pain and fibromyalgia her whole life, and it wasn't until she just took some basic supplements and healed her gut that she's now able to function.
Wow.
And love life and live life and do it pain free.
So basically, when you have quote unquote bad gut health, then you pretty much have holes in your, like really layman's term, explain it to a 5-year-old. You can get a holy gut. You have holes in your gut, and then the toxic food that you're eating, those toxins go through the hole in your gut and into your bloodstream, and then pretty much causing your immune system to just be like, what the hell's going on? Okay. Cool. So you were talking a lot about acne, and I heard you in the course, you were talking to Nicole about like acne and stuff. And then I was like, I'm going to ask Amanda about my acne when I was younger and my Roaccutane. And I asked you, and you're like, Roaccutane's like chemo.
It's pretty nasty drug. Pretty nasty drug.
Yeah. Do you know much about that drug and like what I can do? It's just that basic stuff, isn't it?
Well, what you can do now from being on it, I guess when you're on medication like that, pharmaceutical medication can have a real negative effect on the gut. So it would just be going back to healing the gut.
Okay, so why does it have, and antibiotics as well, and how does pharmaceuticals affect the gut?
Because it's toxins.
Okay,
Kill off the good guys.
So they kill everyone. Even
antibiotics,
the good and the bad.
Antibiotics do, So antibiotics can be life-saving. There are definitely times where we need antibiotics, but people just need to be aware when we use them. Not only do they wipe out the bad bacteria, but they wipe out the good guys too. And our health is dependent on it all starts in the gut.
Yeah.
If we don't get that balance right, where the digestive tract is functioning nicely and well, like if you think about it, it's like the gateway to the body.
Oh, it is.
It's like a tunnel or a tube. So this is the inside of the body, and if you think of the digestive tract as still the outside of the body.
Yeah. Wow.
So what you absorb, that's going in. So if that's not functioning properly, then you get all those secondary effects. Does that answer your question? Yeah.
Yeah. So what can I do to like heal the gut now?
What could you do?
And how does that impact me? Because and candida as well, I was going to ask you.
Sure, yeah.
Like, I definitely have candida, like 100%.
Look, and candida's a opportunistic fungal bacteria. Yeah. Like, it'll overgrow when we feed it.
Yeah.
So candida is just one of... So we all need a little bit of candida.
Yeah.
But it's when it gets out of control that it causes the problem.
Yeah.
Yeah. So what could you do? It would be, just having a look at your diet. So you'd look at, well, am I eating enough greens and fibre and... things like fermented foods and walnuts and all those good things that nourish the gut, and reduce things like coffee and alcohol and sugar. So that'll help to rebalance naturally, and look at some basic supplementation to help improve the bacterial balance.
Okay. What if someone has to take Roaccutane or pharmaceuticals or whatever? What can you take with? Do you take anything with the antibiotic?
With the antibiotic?
Yeah, antibiotics.
There's new research. You would just be hypervigilant around everything else you're doing.
Yeah.
So if you have to be on a medication, then you would try and balance that by being good in other areas.
Okay.
If you've got to be on it and you're on it, you're on it.
Yeah,
right?
exactly.
With antibiotics, there's been some research that came out showing that you could take... You don't want to take antibiotics at the same time as your probiotic because they'll sort of work against each other.
Yep.
But there has been some research that you take your you can still take your probiotics while on a course of antibiotics, but you take them a couple of hours away from it.
Right. Okay.
Yeah. So I'd have to, you'd have to look into that specifically. And there's so many integrated GPs now that do both. Yeah. I've even had GPs prescribe or recommend probiotics.
Right.
So I remember a famous doctor, Natasha Campbell McBride. She's a famous, very well-known GP, like mainstream medical doctor, who has now become the founder of GAPS, the gut and psychology syndrome, so how the gut links with the brain, and then there's the gut and physiology syndrome, so how the gut links to health and then how the gut links to the brain.
Oh, that sounds super interesting.
Yeah, she's awesome. So she's been around for a long time, and I'm pretty sure it was her who said that when we discover something new in the research or around gut health, it can take 50 years to filter down to get to everyday practice at the GP level.
Dear God.
So it can take time for this new information to actually get down to where it's actually practical level. But look, I've had clients come into me and say, my doctor's has recommended that I go and get probiotics. I'm like, fantastic.
Wow.
So I think it is happening. I think the change is there. I've even listened to someone talk about how they think in the future, instead of doctors using particular antibiotics, they'll use particular strains of probiotics.
Oh, that sounds so
Things
cool.
like that.
Yeah.
So it's just really being ahead of what we know, being across the research and being aware of what information is coming out.
Yeah.
And then just taking action and using common sense. It's common sense stuff. So look, I really believe that we didn't have the epidemic of health issues that we have today 200 years ago.
Oh, we didn't.
Because we didn't live the way we live today.
Didn't,
like, it's
100%.
lifestyle. We're not sick because of our genes. Genes don't change over 100 years. We are not sick because of our genes.
They'll change like a micro...
Not enough.
Not enough to change.
Cause disease, yeah. So it takes thousands of years for genes to evolve.
Billions.
So, when you really look at the statistics, children today are the sickest they've ever been in the history of man.
Jesus.
Chronic disease affects 1 in 4 or 1 in 5 adults.
Really?
And look, when I started as an exercise physiologist back in 2000, I would see a client that was referred to me and they'd have 1 or 2 health issues. So they might be someone in their 60s who had a bit of knee arthritis and their blood pressure was up. Now when I see people, and they might be medicated for their high blood pressure and maybe taking an anti-inflammatory. Now when people are referred to me, two things I've noticed. One thing, they're getting younger and younger and younger. So I'm getting people referred to me in their 30s and 40s.
Wow.
Whereas it used to be people in their 70s and 80s.
Yeah.
So people are getting sicker earlier, but also they're more complex. So now it's really not unusual for me to have a patient referred to me that are on 10 or 20 medications. And they not only have arthritis, but they have diabetes, and they've had cancer, and, you know, they've got a list of comorbidities. Professor Samuel Epstein said that in the future, because the statistics for cancer now are 1 in 2 for males. 1 in 2.
Oh my Lord.
For males, I think it is 1 in 2 for males, and so he was saying the projection is that in the future, all of our children will experience cancer at least once in their lifetime.
Jesus.
So is that genes, or is that what we're putting on and in our bodies, and, you know, the way we live? I believe it's lifestyle.
Oh, it's 100% lifestyle and our environment. And
our environment. And I don't believe it is that complex to go back to the way, you know, and adopt some of the habits and behaviours of how we used to live a couple hundred years ago before this was an issue. Yeah. Yes, there's a lot we can't control, but there is so much we can control.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like we're de-evolving, like Michael was saying, about cancer.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, and it's a horrible state for us to be in. Yeah. You know, we probably have never had more doctors, scientists, cookbooks, health professionals, naturopaths ever. We've never had more information, you know, and access to all this stuff, but yet we've never been so sick. Wow,
that's crazy. Okay, so what's I know you've been hanging out to say the website or whatever, like, no, she's shaking her head. No, this isn't a sales pitch. No. She, like, genuinely cares about, you know, people getting, like, it's not a big sales pitch for supplements. I know whenever I hear, like, oh yeah, I've got, buy my supplements or whatever, you're like, yeah, sure. Like, but these supplements actually do, well, I haven't had it yet. I'm gonna order some, and then I'll get back to you and tell you
that would be,
how it's
you can be
work.
The test case.
Yeah. And I like that, because especially with probiotics, you hear so many things. So I'll go to one course and be like, yeah, don't go have probiotics, and then I'll go talk to someone else and be like, yeah, probiotics, and then the next person like, no, there's no research, and then. But it's like, okay, let me just try it and see how I actually feel and see if it helps my gut. So I'm going to do that. But in the meantime, like, what supplements I know we were talking about fulvic minerals or fulvic, what is it?
So the mineral drink, it's good if your mineral supplement contains fulvic acid.
Fulvic acid. Yeah. And is there a specific one? Because you can't get that in the chemist, can you? Can you?
Yeah, you'd need to. There's, you know, look, you can get supplements from a lot of different places. Yeah. I would just say, whatever you choose to use, research it.
Okay.
Because you know how they say oils ain't oils, right? Well, vitamins ain't vitamins.
Yeah. So you can fish oil, don't get fish oil.
you can use supplements that are synthetic, that contain petrochemical binders and fillers. You know, you pick up a kid's multivitamin from, you know, a chemist, and it contains aspartame, sugar, colours, preservative. Like, it's toxic.
Yeah,
there is, you know. So I would just say, whatever it is that you choose to use, just research it.
So what are the 3 things? Because I know you said 3 things, right?
To do for your health?
For supplements. So multivitamin, fulvic, and probiotics.
I would say, minerals.
Yeah.
Minerals, a really good quality mineral supplement, a really good quality multivitamin, and probiotic. Okay. I think everyone needs those. The only other additional one would I like to add in essential fatty acids in the form of a krill, a really clean krill. Okay. But not, you know, you can get that from your diet. So I say only supplement with what you can't get from your diet.
Well, that's exactly what supplements are.
Just to fill the nutritional gap.
Yeah, that's what supplements are. They just, like, supplement for your lifestyle.
And look, if you don't want to take supplements, that's completely fine. Like, I'm indifferent. Like, if you have a health issue, or there's something you want to feel better about, or you want to improve, then look, it's something that might be for you. If it's not for you, that's fine. Like, I'm indifferent. Like,
And they can come and have a consult with you, and
Absolutely.
You can order the supplement, or how does that work?
Oh no, people can order their own. It's no issue.
Yeah, and what's the site that you kind of work with? No.
So I'll just...
There's no site. Come and do a consult with Amanda.
Yeah, look, I just have a chat with people. They tell me what they want to improve. Okay. I do a bit of health coaching with them, and if they want to get started on something, then that's completely up to them. I don't prescribe. I can say what I use. I can show them testimonies of people say if they wanted to reverse acne or eczema, and I can say, look, this is so and so. This is what she did. And it's up to them if they want to do it. They can go back and show their GP. They could go and see a kinesiologist. They could go and see a naturopath. Like, I'm a health coach, and I will just teach what I've applied in my life and see and people take from it what they want and what they need.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So, is there anything else you want to talk about, or anything else on your mind?
We pretty talked quite a bit, didn't we?
Last question. If you could put an ad up or have a billboard up on the busiest road in the world, what would you have on that billboard?
Oh, jeez.
So a message to the world. What would it be?
Get your head right. I don't know. You've just thrown a curveball at me. I mean, I guess it would have to be something around mindset.
Okay.
Because you can have all the knowledge in the world, but if you are not in the mindset where you're implementing it, like we had this conversation before, it's kind of useless. So, I don't really have a slogan.
You were on the right track there. Like you were saying it. Like if it all starts in the mind, it's a mind.
Get your mind right. But and then I think that's where people like you and I are good, in that we can help coach people to get to the core of what's holding them back, or what self-sabotaging behaviours they're using, what their emotional blocks are, those kinds of things. I mean, I've done a lot of health coaching courses, over the years, and behaviour change stuff is my bread and butter. But what we've learnt recently through Michael Johnson and the Mojo Master stuff is next level, and it has almost shown me again that next level of how important it really is.
100%.
And it's where everything starts. It's got to come intrinsically. You can't push someone with external motivation. It's got to come from the inside. Internal. So, and that only comes with a shift in mindset. There you go. That'll be a big quote to put on the billboard. Okay, where can they find you, or message you, or get more info? On Facebook. Most people I chat with around health coaching is referrals, so people will refer people that they know. But look, a lot of people also will just message me up on Messenger or on Facebook. So I'm on Facebook as Amanda Foley. Okay, cool. Yeah, so if anyone wanted to chat, and then just send me a message. Awesome. Yeah. And you can catch me at mitchping.com. Awesome. And I'll see you guys next time. Thanks for listening. And oh my God, I thought of something, but then it went away, and then now it's back. Just how you were saying at the end, how it's all a mindset. This podcast is a perfect example, because some of you might listen to this and be like, oh, that's a lot of good info. I'm going to reduce my toxins. You turn it off, and then you do nothing, right? Mm-hmm. So any information that you don't use is a waste of information. So don't waste the last hour you've been listening to this, all right? So go and do something. Get off your ass. And it's all a mindset, so go change your life, all right? It doesn't have to be that hard. No, it's not. It's simple. Simple steps. Yeah, okay. Yeah. Thanks for listening, and we'll see you guys next time. Thanks, Mitch. Thanks for coming on. You're welcome.